What's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a simple clicker game in Roblox. So step one, of course, you need Roblox Studio. So make sure you have that downloaded. Afterwards, you're going to want to pick any of these three is what I would recommend. I mean, technically you could do any except like Line Runner, CTF, or any of the ones that are actual games already. So we're just going to start with a classic base plate for now. Okay, inside this classic base plate, we're first going to need a button. This button will get our clicks. But I'm just now remembering, before that, we need a... Let me drag my Explorer and properties over here so you can see what I'm doing. But what we're going to need to do is open our server script service, and we need to add a new script. This script we will call, so first delete the print hello world and rename it to leader stats, all lowercase. This is going to be our leaderboard, the one you see in the top right of the game whenever you join. So now that you have that open, we're going to need to start by typing game.players.playerAdded::connect function player. So we're just detecting when a player has connected and we're running a function. Inside this function, I'm gonna make a few spaces and we're gonna do local leader stats equals instance.new folder. And this will just make a new folder called leader stats. Or we have to, name the folder first, which we would do by doing leader stats.name equals air quote leader stats. I don't know, I'm calling them air quotes, so just quote leader stats. Leader stats.parent equals player. So we're parenting leader stats folder to the player. So the player is the parent of the leader stats. So if you went to players and chose your local player, like your name, then you'd have a folder called leader stats under it. But we need clicks and rebirths as well. So we'll do local clicks equals instance.new int value, because we're storing an integer value so an integer is a number. So we're storing a number value for our clicks. So let's name it clicks.name equals clicks. And then clicks.parent equals leader stats. Now we have our clicks. So if we started the game now, we would have a menu in the top right and would have clicks on it. But we also need our rebirths. So we'll do local rebirths equals instance.new int value, and then rebirths.name equals rebirths, and then rebirths.parent equals leader stats. And that will make us a leaderboard. So if we go into the game and hit play, we'll have a leaderboard in the top right showing us our clicks and our rebirths. So if we go to players, our player, leader stats, we can change our clicks and our rebirths. So if we set this value to 9,000, it'll appear here. And for rebirths, we can do the same thing, 5. Boom. You can also make it so that this saves. I'm not going to do that right now though, because it's a little more complex. Maybe in a future episode where I'm building on what we're doing here. So we can just shut this script for now. Now we're going to go to StarterGui, where we will add a screen GUI, and then a frame, and then a text or image button. They both work the same. So let's rename our screen GUI to click GUI, and let's rename our frame. No, we'll just leave it as frame. So let's move this to where we want our button to be and resize it to fit around our button. Oh, we're dragging the button individually. So move this to where you want your button to go. We'll just have ours right there. And then fit that in. So let's change the text on our button to, say either click here or something along those lines. Image buttons are usually better for this because you can have like a mouse cursor image here which, you know, you'll think, oh, mouse cursor, I should click that. So we'll go with a more bright color. How about this? Yeah. And let's give it an outline of 2 pixels. How's that look? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now we need to change the text, of course. So you're going to want to scroll down, and here's text. We'll just make it say, click here. You can make it say whatever you want. Just change that to whatever. Change the text size to whatever size you want. I think that looks pretty good. Let's change our font. You don't have to. I like how Roboto looks. And I'm going to change my color to white and turn my text stroke transparency to 0 so it has a nice outline. So there's our button. When we hover over it, it changes to a bit darker of a color. But it doesn't actually do anything yet. So let's make that happen. Under our click button, we're going to add a local script. We can leave it as local script, but we're probably going to have multiple scripts in here. So we're just going to call this click script. Inside our click script, we want to do script.parent.mouse button 1 click connect function. So we're taking our script and its parent, which is the text button, and we're getting a mouse button 1 click. So when you click on the button, it connects the function. The function will be pretty simple. Local player equals game.players.local player. Local clicks equals player wait for child leader stats wait for child clicks. So player, we're defining the player, so we're just going to our game and then players and then finding whatever our local player is. So that would be you. For clicks, we're going to our player and then we're waiting for the child leader stats. So child is anything that's below, so click script is the child of text parent. So under our player, we're waiting for the leader stats folder, and then we're waiting for the clicks int value. Now we'll do the same for Rebirths. You can always just copy paste it and just change the part where it says clicks, but I like to type it out again. Now we have all our variables defined. So Rebirths is equal to our Rebirths value, clicks is equal to our clicks value, and player is equal to our player. So now if we do clicks.value equals clicks.value plus 1, when we click the button, we'll get 1 click. And we can do if Rebirths.value is greater than 0, then clicks.value is equal to clicks.value plus Rebirths.value times 2. So this will multiply our how much we get per click based on how many rebirths we have. So if we go into the game now with a click button, and when we click it, our clicks should go up. Yup. Technically I could just call this a clicker and leave it there, but we need ways to get the rebirths and whatnot. So let's change our rebirths and make sure our rebirth adding whatever works. So we'll do 2, and we're now getting more per click. I'm not sure exactly how many because I'm bad at math. So 3 to 8, so 5 per click on 2 rebirths. Cool. So we have our click here button, and you know what? Let's give it a sound real quick. So let's add a new script, a new local, adding it to the script, my bad. So click the plus next to our text button and local script, open it up. We'll change the name after, and you know, we'll just change it now. So we'll do rename to sound script or something similar. Inside our sound script, we want to do local sound equals workspace dot click sound and script dot parent dot mouse button 1 click connect function, and then sound.playing equals true. So we don't actually have a click sound. So in our workspace, we'll just hit plus and we'll add a sound. We rename the sound to click sound, and now whatever we put in for this sound will play in the game. So go to the Roblox website, and then in the search bar at the top, we just want to search for something like beep or click sound. We'll just do click sound. And we go search in Creator Marketplace. Might take a moment to load. And we go to audio. You're gonna have to search it again because it wipes your search after. So click sound in audio, and we find whichever one we want. So just go through here, pick one that you want. Sure, this one sounds good. And you copy the ID here between library and then all this garbage. So you just want this number, and we go back to here and add our click sound. Under here, there's something called SoundId, and we want to paste what we just got in. Now, if we go back to our game and we play it, our sound plays when we click. Perfect. You can always change that to, be louder, quieter, whatever, by just changing this. We'll do 3 to see how loud that is. Cool. You can also, an issue that you may end up having if your sound is too long is it won't play on every click because of the gap in silence at the beginning. So if there's silence at the beginning of your sound, it might not play immediately. So you'll definitely want sound where there's no silence at the beginning at all. Now that we have a beautiful click sound, let's go ahead and add a Rebirth button. So under our StarterGui, we want to shrink our click GUI, and we want to add another screen GUI. Our screen GUI we will call Rebirth GUI or something similar. It really doesn't matter. You just need to remember what this is for future reference. Under here we need a frame, and then under our frame we'll get a secondary frame. So it's actually not normal frame, that's my bad. We're going to want to do a scrolling frame. So a scrolling frame is a normal frame, but you can scroll in it and it will go up and down. So we'll rename this to secondary frame. And then under our secondary frame, we'll add a UI list layout, and then a text label, another text label, and then a text button. And now size this up to however big you want your Rebirth menu to be. We'll just do it like that for now. This is our original frame. So we'll just move it to where we want this and just drag this on top. And we can resize our buttons and junk and our labels. So let's move this label down below. Okay, apparently I'm dumb. We'll just, I suppose we'll just leave it like that. So up here at the top, let's stretch this to be properly sized. Boom. Next. I'd like this to be under, but I'm dumb or something. I can't remember how to make it go under. So that's how that looks right now. We got a button and then 2 text labels. We want this to look good though. So let's take the first text label, color any color you want. I'm gonna go with a similar color to my first color. And then we change the border to 0, or this is gonna look kind of dumb. And then we can go down to our text. We'll change it to Roboto to match with our other text. we'll change the text color to white to match our other text. Change it to Rebirths or Rebirth or the similar. We'll just do Rebirth menu. Let's change our size so it looks better. And then let's turn that text stroke transparency to 0 so it really pops out. Our label, we will make it a similar color, maybe a little darker. So background color. Right there, that looks good. Let's turn the border off. And then we'll just have our cost to rebirth be 1,000. So our text will say cost to rebirth 1,000 clicks. Let's scale that up and make it look nice and pretty. Change from source sans to whatever you want, or leave it as source sans, it does not matter. Set my text color to white, my transparency to 0, or for my text stroke. And there's that. Let's change the secondary frame's background color so that we don't just have this huge white bar. But we also need to stretch these buttons and junk so that we can actually see the scrolling part of our scrolling frame. Oh, I still can't see it. Oh, we should have a scrolling frame here. Am I just dumb? There's always a possibility. It's whatever. Even if it's not a scrolling frame, it'll still work decent. It just looks better with the scrolling frame. I'm pretty sure this is one, but it's just not working. So I'll just chalk that up to me being stupid. So let's change our background color to fit in. And we're going to give it an outline of 3 pixels. I think that'll look good. Let's change our button now. So background color of the button. We'll do that color. And then we'll change border to 2 pixels with a darker, or a darker outline like that. How's that look? Looks pretty good. Let's take our button. You can skip all this if you want, and like all the customization. It really doesn't matter. So we'll make that white, and then we'll turn our text size way up, change the text to Rebirth, and then turn our text stroke transparency down. There's our Rebirth menu. So now we'll make it so that when you click this button, you'll rebirth. So under the button, we need to add a local script. We'll call it Rebirth. And we need to actually write stuff in here. So we're going to start by deleting the print hello world, and we'll do local player equals game.players.local player. So once again, we're just defining our player, and then local clicks equals player colon wait for child leader stats wait for child clicks. And we'll do the same for rebirths. As you can see, you can just copy this, paste it in, and then change clicks to rebirths, or you can type it out. I think that when you're just learning, typing out is better because it helps you understand what you're writing more, but you can paste it if you want. Nobody's going to stop you. And we want to do script.parent.mouse button one click connect to a function. And then we do a simple if function. We'll do 2 if functions here. So if rebirths.value is greater than or equal to 1, then return. So if we have more than 1 rebirth, I forgot to change this. So if we have more than 1 rebirth, then it will not give us another for 1,000. Then we'll do if clicks dot value greater than or equal to 1000, then rebirths dot value equal to rebirths dot value plus 1, and then clicks dot value is equal to, you can either do 0, or you can do clicks dot value minus 1000, because that's the cost. We're going to do 0 here because you're rebirthing, you're losing everything to get a buff. So now when we click that button in game, we should get a rebirth. Let's test it out. We need 1000 clicks first. What's the easiest way to do that? Just give ourselves some clicks. 1000. Oh, it didn't work. Mouse button, 1 click on the text button. Oh, I did M-double-O. So let's pull that script back up and let's fix that mouse button 1 click, not mouse button 1 click. Players, your player, leader stats, change your clicks to 1000 to make sure it's working. Rebirth, boom. Now we have a working rebirth menu, but we don't want that up on our screen all the time. Can you imagine how annoying that would get? So let's make it so that we can exit that. So let's close all this, and under our frame, we'll add a text button, which we'll just make look pretty decent. Background color, it's an exit button, so we'll go with red. And then border, we'll do a 3 pixel. Text will just be exit. Text size needs to be pretty big. And we'll just drag it up into the corner. Don't worry, if you can't see the top of it, it'll still appear in game. Roblox is kind of weird about stuff. Let's make this perfectly square. Oh. Come on. Oh, so close. Yeah, there we go, 50 by 50. I'm just gonna have it right there. It won't appear perfectly in the, in this, but in game, see, it'll look a bit more like that. So I'll drag it down like that, and we need it to actually exit this. So under our exit button, we'll have a script, which is local. We'll do a local script. We'll call it exit menu. Delete print hello world. This is a very simple script, 3 lines. Script.parent.mouse button 1 click connect function, and then script.parent.visible equals false. Now when we hit that exit button, it should go away. Yep, so there's that, but how do we open it? Let's add an open button now. So under our Rebirth GUI, no, under our first frame, we want to, no, it is under our Rebirth GUI. We're gonna add a text button. We'll drag it here. We'll color it real quick. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. Border pixel size 2, we'll do 3, whatever. And then we'll change the text to say Rebirth. Turn our text color to white or whatever you want. Change the text size to whatever big. Boom. Boom. There's our Rebirth button. Oh, I forgot to change the font. That's gonna bug me if I don't fix that. Give me 1 second. Also forgot to change that font, but we won't see it often, so it doesn't matter. This will always be on your screen. So we'll name our text button. We'll rename it to open button, and we'll add a local script. Under this local script, again, very simple, script.parent.mouse button 1 click connect function script.parent.frame.visible equals not script.parent.parent.frame frame.visible. And that's all. So the reason we do equals not script.parent.parent.frame.visible is we'll make it so that if you click it, it will open it, and if you click it again, it'll close it. Because if you're like me, when you have one of these menus in front of you, it kind of like rattles your brain, and you forget that you're supposed to do the whole frame. Alright, so if you're anything like me, you'll go, oh, let's open it, and then you'll try and shut it with this button as well. And now you can do that. So you can either use exit or the rebirth button, which makes it a lot simpler, so you're not like, oh dang, I clicked the rebirth button expecting it to close, but it didn't. So there's the absolute basics. That's a clicker game in the essence. We can rebirth only once, but you can change that by just simple code. You can just either make a new script, or you can just add on to this one, like if rebirth's value is greater than or equal to 1, then do something else. Greater than or equal to 2, do something else. And lots of other ways. There's lots of ways you can do this. So in our game, we see that it's all working. Let's just add some background music and a mute button just to make it a little bit better. So let's add a screen GUI, a frame, and then a text button. Probably very used to these by now. We'll just have it in the bottom right, scale it down, and we'll just call the text button mute the text. We'll make it the white text stroke transparency to 0 so it pops out of the white background. And let's just change that background to be more similar to our other colors. Text size, let's turn that up a little bit. Boom. Take this to wherever we want it. And resize it to fit. Oh, come on, let me click my frame. It's probably easier if you size this down and then drag the button on top of it. But then you get a couple other issues like, you know, this. It's a little annoying to drag it around, so we'll just extend that up a little bit more. Oh, that's a little too far, I think. That looks good. So we'll grab the frame and we'll move apparently the mute button. That's fine. I would much prefer to move the frame, as we can see here. Move it to wherever you want it to be. And that's pretty good. It has a bit of disparity at the top, but that's all right. We'll just